Hey guys, I'm standing here in front of the brand new AS35 Mi. It's a single-seater self-launch glider with 20 meters of wingspan. Today we will have a closer look at the glider, and at the end we will try to answer your questions from Instagram.
Hi, Stefan.
Hi Patrick. You have here a super brand new glider. It's a AS35 Mi. Why did you design such a glider? You already have the AS33 Mi, even a self-launch electric glider. What's the purpose of this glider, and can you show us more in-depth detail of the glider, which is new, which is different?
With the 35, we more have a predecessor to the 31. So it's our big fuselage. We have, for the single seaters, we have two fuselages. So the 33, 28, 34 share one outer fuselage. But the problem with this small fuselage that you also already know is that we can't fit a gasoline self-launch engine in there, like the Wankel or a Solo. So we have a second bigger fuselage, like the 31, the 26, and the 35 share this fuselage for the big motors. Okay. And this fuselage is designed also in length more for bigger span. So the 31 had 21 meters of wingspan, and now we shrank the glider down a bit to 20 meters. Because in the end, right now the 33 already showed it with you on the World Championship that wing loading is like a very important thing right now. The weather is pretty much always good on the most competitions, and you have very small time frames for the tasks. So it's very important to be fast. And you just can be fast with smaller wings, more wing loading, that helps you. So we went from the 21 meter to the 20 meter because in our design and our geometry and the new airfoil family that the 33 already has, fits perfectly onto this wingspan.
So the main focus was to build something better than the ASH31, which is perhaps better with the handling, also with the shorter wings, and it's faster in the air.
Yeah, that's true. So the 31 was like a very beloved glider for a lot of pilots. It may have not appeared often on World Championship stages, but in the end, it's not only important how it behaves on the championship, it's also very important how it behaves in your daily life. Like if you want to have a very nice flight after finishing work on the day, a smaller glider also enhances you or motivates you more to get in the air, and the 31 did it very well. So we took the 31, took all the experiences we have from the 33 and put the 31 on steroids to be a very fast, very amazing glider, not only for winning World Championships, but also for winning your heart on daily flights. Because if you're paying a lot of money for such a glider, the glider needs to enhance and motivate you to fly on a daily basis.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that, also to try this out, perhaps at some time to make a travel by glider trip or so. Therefore, there are some features on the glider which I really, really like very much. But can we have a more detailed look now into the cockpit?
The cockpit almost changed entirely. So you have more space in the instrument panel. It got a bit bigger, so you have the same layout as the ME gliders, that you have like your engine instruments and the control levers for the engine together. Like the ME system always have them together, so it's kind of a philosophy to bring as much standardized parts as possible. Then we also started to change the flap levers, the air brake levers, and what really changed a lot is like the gear lever.
Okay.
Normally we have like a standard lever, you grip it with your hand and then you pull it back. But for bigger pilots with longer arms, that's like a big problem in a certain stance of your hand to get the wheel really back in. So if you grab it from the top, like we designed it now, you have a lot more way you can travel with your arm, even if you have longer arms. So you're not coming into the situation where you're limited by the space in the back because you have very long arms.
Yeah. The difference here between the AS33 is that this is split somehow, so the control unit is down here, and here it's cut off, I would say.
Yeah. So
and other than this,
in the end, it's a bigger panel. Yeah. So it's split with all the manual parts at the bottom. The 31 and the 26 already had it that way. So we took all the things that those gliders already had, improved it a bit, modernized it. Like everything you can touch and feel, the ergonomic parts really improved in here, so that you're getting into the glider and it feels totally different. It feels modern, new, and it feels like home. So it's not an old glider with a new shiny outside. It's in the inside more modern than on the outside.
It looks quite a lot like the AS33, which looks amazing. Yeah. Also here the backrest, I would say, looks similar. The panel cover and so on, the handles. So there are a lot of genes from the 33, I would say.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and here with the luggage space, it also looks fantastic. It's huge. It's much bigger, I would say, than the 33, or definitely it's bigger than the 33. There's no fuel tank up here in here. Yeah. So where do you put the fuel in?
It's in the fuselage and in the wings, depends on what you want to have. So there is extra tanks in the wing. Mm-hmm. But the bigger fuselages offer more space, so they were never in this compartment. Like the only glider with the fuel tank up here with the 29, and we really saw that this maybe wasn't the best idea for daily usage. Okay. So we changed it. So the 33 doesn't have it, even with the ES.
Okay, and here on the side, no, there is no space like in the 33, but you have a lot of space up here, so that's great for travel by glider trips and big adventures. Okay, then let's have a look at the outside. What's changed here? Of course, the wings are completely different, I think.
Yeah, so the 35 has like its own wings. We took all the experiences and everything we had from the 33. That made it so good, like the airfoil, the layout, high wing loading, and took the inner wing and completely redesigned it to fit this airfoil and new geometry and layout that we have with the 33. So in the end, it's starting with a completely new wing and ends in the outer wing of the 33.
Okay.
So you're having like a 33 on steroids because it has like 1 meter more wingspan on each side.
Yeah. Sounds amazing. And then the bug wipers, the bug wiper garages and so on, I think you had it already at the 31 as well. So that's not a big difference, but it looks exactly the same as with the 33, and the fitting and everything looks fantastic. Really well done. Congrats for that. And winglets and so on, as you're told, it's the same as the 33. So if I have a damaged winglet at the German Nationals, I just go to the open class and steal one. Okay, that's really good to know. And even the outer wings are close. Okay. Yeah, then let's come to the engine system. I think that's very important also for this type of glider.
Yeah, so on this type of gliders, like an open class glider or 20-meter glider, it means that you want to do something big, and the glider, like we already talked about, needs to enhance your gliding. But for this type of glider, or for being independent, or for wanting to be independent, you need a very reliable engine system that has a lot of range for you to start, to get back home, to go into the mountains, or do travel by glider if you want to. So we took the Wankel, the rotary engine of the 31, and put it into the 35, because in the end, from the layout, in the dimensions, it's closely fitting. So we took a fully new propeller with enhanced performance to improve the starting performance of the 35 with higher wing loadings in the end, because we are reaching over 62 kilograms of wing loading. So you need very good starting performance and launching performance with this glider.
One thing I already saw at the Aero in Friedrichshafen, I think 2 years ago already, was the tail wheel.
The tail wheel is a totally new design. we started with experimenting with retractable and steerable tail wheels on the 32, and now we improved it further or started over this whole thing to have a really fitting, very nice system. So as we spoke, the tail wheel of the 35 will always, in every case, be retractable and steerable.
Okay.
So as we can see, if we are moving the rudder, the tail wheel also moves.
That's a really huge feature.
Yeah.
I would love to have it at the 33 as well. But especially this feature allows you to taxi better on an airfield, airport, and so on, especially for travel by glider trips or on bigger airports. It's just necessary to have, and I think that's a huge game changer. And to have the reduced drag with it retractable is really amazing.
And also, it's like if you're having enough range in your engine with the fuel and stuff like that, you will taxi with the glider.
Yeah.
So you need a reliable system to taxi around for you to be very independent, because now the glider with 20 meters, you take it out of your hangar in 10 minutes, you sit in, drive to the next starting line and just start.
Yeah.
You need nobody for this whole glider to just get in the air. So it's really a powerful machine.
What else changed here? I think these fairings here are slimmer. It looks like at the 33 as well.
Yeah.
Is the horizontal stabilizer the same?
Almost the same. Yeah.
Okay.
So not a lot of things change at the back of the glider except for the retractable tail wheel.
Okay.
We always do a bit of sneaky, tricky tricks to get more performance, more aerodynamic flow, and to get it very perfect, to take the last bits out of the glider. But those are a lot of small tweaks that you have to do in the end to get less and less percentage of performance.
Okay.
On this particular glider, on the 35, you see that the wing is getting in the inside a bit bigger, and to have like a very flat back edge, you need to find a certain idea to continue the flap as long as possible onto the fuselage. So for us, because the wing gets pretty wide in here, we have a split flap design on the inside of the wing.
Looks interesting. I don't know how it really works now. But
it's a very nice solution that our engineers found for it to work, because in the end, if you're seeing, they don't have the same back edges, so they're turning in different directions. So you need to find a solution where those two flap areas can work against each other in distance without screwing anything up. So it's a very tricky solution, a very nice detail that maybe a lot of people will not see or miss, because it's such a small thing and it's normal, but it took a lot of work and a lot of brain power to find the really perfect aerodynamic solution.
Yeah, looks amazing. Nice. Well, then we have some questions from the Instagram community. Let's try to find an answer for them. Let's get to the first question. What is the best glide ratio?
It depends. So if we are talking about our calculations, because the glider I haven't flown yet, we're speaking about above 60.
Wow, okay. And the 33 in comparison has calculated?
Around 57.
Why 20 meters?
Yeah, first of all, because we couldn't fit it into this room otherwise. But we think that it's the perfect all-rounder. Not only being a very good championship glider, but also for every day. If you're thinking about, you have 28 meters on a daily base, you're stopping the work at 3 p.m. or stuff like that, and you're going to the hangar, you will never get the glider out of the hangar with 28 meters, then tow it to the start and start.
Yeah.
And this glider should not only be a very nice display model, it should motivate you to fly, and it should be very nice to fly. And 20 meters is perfect for this. Also, if you're going high wing loading and you want to fly fast, and we talked to a lot of high-profile pilots talking about the Hungarian World Championship in open class and stuff like that, and they were like, yeah, the red line is a problem. So,
and probably like flying in Namibia would be amazing with such a glider with a high wing loading, with it for the average speeds and so on, and for perhaps even some records. It's cool.
And it makes it also easy to also have 18 meter. Yeah. And a lot of pilots want an 18 meter self launcher.
So you have the option also to exchange the wings to 18 meter.
Yeah.
Okay.
20 and 18 meter.
That's great. Yeah. Do you have an electric landing gear?
No. We don't have one, and we're not working on one.
How responsive is the AS35 handling compared to AS33 and AS31?
Okay, so responsiveness is a very, very hard topic when the glider is not flown yet. But in the end, you're calculating with geometry, with the wing layout, and you have all the parts that in before you can put into the whole equation to see, okay, it will be like that or like this. And we think it will be as responsive as the 33.
Yeah, I found one more really good one, which is related to the propulsion system. Will there be also an electric ME version available at some point?
I think it's the most asked question that I've heard from our customers. It's not yet in planning. We now focused on the glider to be finished as it is in here. So we're going with the Wankel, with the rotary engine. We are planning it because the 31 has very good experiences with this whole system. And we wanted to make the pilot independent from everything. And if we are speaking about an open class glider, maybe for the mountains or stuff like that, even the 2,800 meters you could get with our ME system in the 33 at some point may not be enough for stuff that people with those gliders want to do. And we don't want to cut down the performance of the glider just because we could put an electric system in there. So with the higher weight against the 33, we would have a few problems with battery energy density and the range that we can get out of it. And our philosophy is the motor system should support the glider and not cut it down. So if we just think, okay, we could do it, so we do it, we would have a medium, okay-ish motor system. So we are thinking and developing a solution for an electric thing maybe in the future. But right now, this is our solution for the self-launch and propulsion, and we're very happy with it.
Okay. What is the wing loading range and the glide ratio? But we had already the glide ratio. So
glide ratio is about 60. Wing loading, we go at the maximum at around 62, a bit more than 62. And for the lower range, it's always like a pilot and configuration thing. If you have a lot of options, if you have more fuel tanks and stuff like that, it depends. So it's very hard to give an estimate for the lowest wing loading.
But what is a realistic number?
Yeah, but if we're calculating around 450 empty, then an 80 kilo pilot, and you have like 11.75 square meters of wing. So you can really easily calculate your weight into this whole equation, and then you get
okay, I will try to calculate it. Okay. Bene just sent me an euro sign. What's the price?
Yeah, it depends on all the stuff that you put into it, but gliders are an expensive toy. So I would cautiously say a house. I don't say how big it is
and where it is,
and where it is, but
a lot.
I would calculate with a house.
Okay. Yeah. So it is of course more expensive than the 33 ME.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also the standard configuration is very high. So for example, on this glider, you always get the acrylic paint standard. You always get the retractable steerable tailwheel standard. You get a lot of parts on this glider as a standard because we have seen in the past that a lot of people take those options, so it doesn't make any sense to not put it in the standard glider. So the price may at first be high, but you almost have not to take any extra options on this glider.
So the base price is high, but there's not a lot of other options available anymore. One more question, which is more like a funny question. When will be there a pink glider?
I mean, in the past there were a lot of developments.
The background was also pink.
Developments with colors in the gliders. For example, our ASG32 you could get in red and different colors. But in the end, most of the glider pilots like the white look. So even if you go into development for colors, not a lot of people want to take it. So,
but I think you could get stripes and so on in a pink color if you order something. You can do some
certain positions, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Super. Then thank you very much. I hope you will make the first flight soon with this glider.
Yeah, it's planned.
And of course, I'm also looking forward to see it in the air and probably also fly it at some point.
Yeah.
And then thanks for this time here and thanks for creating such a nice ship, such a nice glider.
Yeah, we are very proud. It was a lot of work for our design team and they really did a miracle. If you're looking at the whole geometry of the glider, it just looks perfect. And it was a lot of work to get it finished for today, for this extra event. But they made it happen, and we're very proud of our team, all the production team, the design team, and it's a perfectly working clockwork in our company.
Yeah. And what's the event today where I'm at?
Yeah, so you're invited to our release event. So we invited all of the customers that already want the 35 to this day to have like a pre-release for exclusive customers before next week the gliding exhibition in Hamburg. So it's like a pre-release event. So those customers and you see the glider for the
I'm
very
not a
first
customer.
time. Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. Yeah. Okay, then thank you very much and let's enjoy the show. I'm very curious what you're doing here and what you show us. Thank you so much.
Und ich bitte Patrick nun ein paar Worte an unsere englischsprachigen Gäste zu richten. Vielen Dank.
As Uli already said, today is a huge milestone for all of us in the company. It's the launch of our new AS35 Mi. And this glider is more than just a new model. It's a statement of what is possible when passion, experience and teamwork really come together. Like Uli already said, our motto says it best, it's tomorrow from tradition. So we are about to honor where we come from while we are building what's next. So standing here in front of the AS35 Mi, you can feel that future and we hope you will be very happy with sitting inside of it when we finally lift the canopy cover.
Schönen Abend euch allen und wir sind gerne für euch da. Danke nochmal ans Team und viel Spaß.